Fight that everybody want to see.
Yeah.
I want to do it.
Do you respect him as like when he's like, I got a couple fights left, I'm at the end, I'm only trying to get mega fights, so
I understand it, but don't lie or cap to the net and make it seem like I had the opportunity to fight you and I didn't. I never did. You know what I'm saying? And then that one time that I did, we said they called and we said we never heard nothing else back about it. So
right.
I mean, I respect it though. I mean, get your money. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing. But don't be capping on the net.
Man, great. Bud always been like that. Without a question, solid. You know what I'm saying? Solid.
You think there's anything left for him, coach, or is it time for Bud to move on? Or
I'm trying to figure out who he gonna fight next.
160, you can see him fight
I wouldn't do nothing crazy. He looked at excellent. Hey, Blake Islam. He looked at excellent.
Is there anybody the most from
No, I'm trying to figure out what their team gonna do next. I want to see what's
He's
next.
talking about 160, coach. I mean, the only thing down there is maybe like a middleweight tournament, 2 fights undisputed, something like that. But if not that, then what for Bud?
Who?
Well, they were talking about Jaron Ennis going to 160, possibly going Jaron Ennis going to 160.
If he go to 160, then we got another mega fight.
You think that's a mega fight?
I don't know that yet, but I'm saying, and the boxing fans that know boxing would say that's another.
The boxing world nearly stopped the moment reports emerged that Terence, Bud, Crawford and Jaron Boots Ennis were finally heading towards serious negotiations. For years, fans viewed this matchup as nothing more than a fantasy that would likely never happen, but now it suddenly appears closer than ever. After Crawford reportedly shocked the sport by moving up to the super middleweight division and dethroning Canelo Alvarez, attention immediately shifted to one final challenge. Sources now claim discussions surrounding the fight could reach an incredible $300 million, a figure usually reserved for truly historic sporting events. That's the kind of money attached only to contests capable of captivating the entire sports world. Today, we're breaking down why this showdown has become boxing's biggest talking point, how Ennis developed into the fighter so many compare to Crawford himself, and why this could ultimately become the toughest test of Bud's legendary career. When Crawford stepped into the 168-pound division, many critics believed he had gone too far. They questioned his size, his age, and whether he could compete against one of boxing's biggest stars. Instead of proving them right, Crawford delivered a masterful performance that made it look as though he had belonged in the division all along.
That's ahead of him in smarts. And I think, that's where he'd get in trouble with, coming straight forward, trying to box me or trying to, think shot for shot. I just compare myself, with a lot of great fighters, and I can see the holes in his game, and I can see the openings and the opportunities that I'll have because A, I feel like I punch harder than Xander. B, I'm way sharper than Xander. C, I'm way faster than Xander. So the shots that Xander was hitting him with and the shots that Xander couldn't capitalize because his speed wasn't there, I will be able to capitalize. And when I capitalize, everybody know I'm probably one of the best counterpunchers,
That victory accomplished something rarely witnessed in today's boxing landscape. Crawford defeated an elite champion without relying on size advantages, catchweight agreements, or a string of tune-up fights. He simply stepped into the ring against one of the sport's biggest names and earned the victory through pure skill, leaving the entire boxing community in disbelief.
Mayweather. I think Crawford is better, bigger. He's actually he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter. Mayweather is really good too, though. You can knock him as well. He's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because it's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. It would have been hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely a technician. I mean, like Crawford said, Mayweather has his era.
After reaching that level of success, one issue quickly became clear. Crawford had seemingly conquered every meaningful challenge available to him. He had already defeated Errol Spence Jr., unified world titles across multiple weight divisions, and reportedly added another remarkable achievement by moving up to 168 pounds. It appeared there was no one left until one familiar name continued appearing in every discussion: Jaron Boots Ennis, the undefeated contender who kept dismantling every opponent placed before him.
that Terence Bud Crawford retired, went to 168 and then retired for a reason. And that reason was Boots Ennis. Here's what Crawford said after the win. I'm going to keep my comments to myself, but y'all get it, I hope. We've seen you get rocked hella times too. Stop hating Unc. He almost got knocked out by Xander. Bud sends Boots to the morgue. All you do is comment. You said you'd gain nothing from fighting him, so just enjoy retirement. I agree with this, by the way. I agree with if Bud is going to talk on Twitter, and I said this when he talked about Ilya Top Toro. If you're retired, don't do the Floyd Mayweather thing where, I would have beat him. See, I would have beat him. If you think you can beat Boots, come back and fight him. Bud's not going to do that. He's retired. He said.
This potential matchup has been discussed for several years. Fans originally wanted Crawford and Ennis to meet while both competed in the welterweight division, and the IBF even ordered the fight back in 2023. However, negotiations never resulted in an agreement. Some believed Crawford moved on rather than facing a dangerous young challenger, while Bud insisted opportunities had existed but were never fully pursued. As Crawford continued climbing through different weight classes, many assumed the fight had disappeared forever. Then Ennis continued improving, and people began noticing something extraordinary. He wasn't simply winning anymore. His style started reminding fans of a younger version of Crawford.
I think he could go there now and be in his absolute prime. He'll be tight at 54 tomorrow. People think that when you move up in weight, all of a sudden it's easy. He's massive. He will 100% go to 168 at some point. So right there, you've got a 4-division championship. But I don't want him just to be a 4-division champion. I want him to be undisputed in those because I think he's the natural progressor to Terence Crawford. I think he's of the same kind of ability as Terence Crawford. And what Crawford's done is amazing because he was undisputed in 3 weight classes.
Yeah, you got to prove it in a ring.
Of course you have. It's not very well me saying it. But you've got to prove it in a ring. But you've also, people know in boxing. So everyone's always known how good Crawford was. But it took him a long time to get the opportunities to prove it. We've got to make sure that we're not 36, 37, 38 when we're getting those opportunities. Because if Boots can get it at 29, 30, he's going to be around 34, 35. He lives a clean life. Do you know what I mean? I think this guy, I truly believe.
Before long, respected analysts were calling Ennis the next Bud Crawford. Promoters quickly reignited interest in the matchup, and Eddie Hearn added even more momentum by stating that only one realistic opponent remained capable of truly challenging Crawford. Hearn argued that Ennis is undefeated, fully healthy, still in his athletic prime, and nearly a decade younger than Bud. His message was simple. If Crawford wants one final elite challenge, Boots is the obvious opponent.
Boots, we know what the super fight is. We don't even know what the super fight is. Super fight isn't Sebastian Fundora. The super fight isn't Virgil Ortiz. Super fight isn't Josh Kelly. There's no one at 160. The super fight is Terence Bud Crawford. That's the super fight. And you know the thing is about Terence, yeah? A, we know Terence is a killer. Terence would have watched yesterday's fight thinking, I see holes. I see holes and I will capitalize. I'm bigger than you. I'm harder than you. I've got more experience than you. I'm better than you. Well, let's see it. All these things can be said. There's only one way to decide that. Get in the ring. Get in that 22 by 22 foot squared ring with your 10-ounce gloves and let's throw down. And I think Terence is going to. Terence tweeted something along the lines of, almost like, don't tempt me type vibe. And you know what Terence is like? Terence is a street kid. You kind of push that street kid and say it's easy work as Boots is doing. Terence will make you find out if it is easy work, and it ain't easy work. I hope His Excellency Turkey al-Sheikh was watching because he's the one that can make that fight. Both of these guys want to get paid, and he can make that fight and a fair way.
4 months, both fighters have quietly encouraged the conversation. Ennis has repeatedly praised Crawford for becoming the face of boxing after his biggest victories, describing him as one of the greatest fighters of this generation. At the same time, Boots has never hidden his confidence that he possesses everything necessary to defeat the future Hall of Famer.
By the way, there's this brother coming up, Molly. His name is Boots Ennis. This brother's special. You don't want to go in the ring against after that beating. Molly, it was so bad. I swear to y'all, I am not exaggerating. Yeah.
Although Ennis has consistently spoken respectfully about Crawford, many observers sensed a quiet confidence behind those compliments. His words seemed to suggest that every great reign eventually comes to an end. Meanwhile, Crawford has repeatedly acknowledged Boots' talent and congratulated him following impressive performances, while also making it clear that he believes the younger fighter still has more to accomplish before reaching his level.
Eddie been talking about that for a long time. But the crazy thing about it is I told Eddie, I said, Eddie, this is before Canelo. I said, Eddie, you keep talking about this fight so much. Put your money up. Eddie said, I'm not paying for that fight. I said, why not? You believe in your fighter? I'm not paying for that fight. I said, I rest my case.
Whenever Crawford has been asked whether Ennis has what it takes to beat him, he has usually responded with calm confidence. He has hinted that patience is part of the journey, suggesting the right moment will eventually arrive. But after Crawford's reported victory over Canelo, everything changed. Boots immediately expressed interest in making the fight happen. Promoters began discussing enormous financial figures, while television executives reportedly started holding private meetings to explore turning the event into reality.
I tried to tell him too, and I told him Xander's a good fighter. I like Xander, man. You see Xander come over to hug me. I mean, one of my top fighters that I like. He's a good fighter, man. You can't take nothing away. He's young, strong. You know what I mean? And he got a lot of heart, man. And Bozy, they should have been stopped that fight. I told him that Boots was gonna cut the ring off. Yeah, they told me he don't know how to cut the ring. Exactly. He's flat-footed. Now, just but Xander told you know what Xander said? Xander said he was just talking. He said, I know he boxing move. He just said that.
As excitement continued growing, influential boxing voices, including Eddie Hearn, Tim Bradley, and Sean Porter, began repeating the same conclusion. In their opinion, Ennis represents the one remaining opponent capable of capturing the imagination of the entire boxing world. That naturally leads to another question. Why do so many respected experts believe Boots resembles Crawford more than any other fighter competing today?
Who they are cancel out each other as far as height. They both switch hitters, lift, and everything. All of that cancels out each other. So they are literally the same people pretty much. The only difference is Crawford done been in the big stage against big fighters so many times. And also with age, he didn't beat up his body, so his age is actually good. He got the grown man strength. He not just grown man strength, but he built on top of that. Like look at him at 135. He was a little scrawny dude. He wasn't a big dude. Now look at him. He ripped up everything. He's strong. So sure. I feel like he got everything, all the experience, all the knowledge. So I got to go.
The comparison extends well beyond simple hype because Ennis possesses one of the most complete skill sets in modern boxing. He switches effortlessly between orthodox and southpaw stances, lands precise counterpunches, and throws punches that opponents rarely see coming. Combined with his natural size, youth, reach, and knockout power, many believe he creates stylistic problems unlike almost anyone else currently competing.
I feel way stronger this week class. I should have probably been moved up, but as you know, I was standing down there, trying to, be undisputed down there. And those guys were down there playing around. And so I had to, move up. And then I think that was the best decision I made because I think I would have stayed at that weight for too long.
I got to ask you this. Like, I know you be tired of talking about Bud, but I remember a couple weeks ago, there's Gillian Wallow put out a video and Bud was on the other side saying, I would knock that Boots out. Like, did you watch that? And what was your reaction to that?
Oh man, I'm in camp. I don't even worry about what he retired. I ain't worry about what nothing he got going on. I'm locked in. I'm focused on what Chasky and that's Xander's eyes. I'm locked in on that.
Does part of you still want to fight him though?
I'm not.
You're not thinking about it.
Say it one more time.
I said, does part of you still wish you can fight him?
He's a retired fighter.
What makes Boots even more dangerous is a quality rarely seen in young elite fighters. Despite his explosive athleticism, he competes with tremendous patience, refusing to force opportunities and displaying maturity far beyond his years every time he steps into the ring. That unique blend of patience and athletic ability has only increased the anticipation surrounding this potential fight. Crawford represents the established king whose accomplishments have already defined an era, while Ennis symbolizes the next generation preparing to take over the sport. It's the classic battle between proven greatness and rising dominance.
He's an awfully good fighter. And, it would take a real wizard to beat him. Crawford has something that no other fighter around has, and people haven't commented on it, and that is he fights equally well as a southpaw or as a right-hander. And so when you train for a fight, usually the fighter he's fighting trains for him as a orthodox fighter, right-handed fighter. And so from the first round on, he'll turn southpaw, and the guy isn't.
At this point in his career, Crawford has very little left to prove either financially or competitively. He has already become undisputed in multiple divisions, defeated many of boxing's biggest stars, and surpassed expectations throughout his remarkable career. So why would he risk stepping into the ring against someone like Boots? Many believe the answer comes down to legacy. Crawford has a chance to further cement his place among the greatest fighters of the modern era. Some critics still argue that he never defeated an elite young contender at the absolute peak of his abilities, and this matchup provides exactly that opportunity. If Crawford defeats Boots, many fans and analysts believe his legacy would reach an entirely different level among boxing's all-time greats.
His excuse, I beat this guy, you know, and he's too young or whatever. So I'm never really going to give my full respect until afterwards. Yes, you know, it's a lot of people that's changing their narrative. Like, man, y'all watching something great right now, and we not appreciating it. And it's sad to say that we waking up at the tail end of his career. You know, we really didn't realize it until now when he's like doing extraordinary stuff, like going up 2 weight classes to fight the best fighter in that division, the #1 guy that's the face of boxing, you know. And the way that I handled that, people like, oh man, something had to be wrong. Canelo had to be washed, or Canelo just wasn't in it. I see people saying, oh, Turkey paid for Canelo to lose, you know. So I just think, you know, when you that much better than the competition, you know, people not going to give you credit until they sit down and look at it. And just
For Team Ennis, the opportunity couldn't come at a better moment. Boots remains undefeated, is entering the prime of his career, and is finally receiving the widespread recognition many believe he deserves. Still, he understands that becoming boxing's biggest superstar requires one defining victory over an established legend. Defeating Crawford would immediately elevate him to the very top of the sport. More importantly, Boots doesn't seem driven by desperation. He genuinely believes he's the better fighter. Every legendary champion eventually reaches the moment when the next generation comes knocking, and this could become Crawford's defining challenge. The age difference only makes the story even more fascinating, with Bud approaching the latter stages of his career while Ennis is only beginning his prime years.
That they let the fight go that long, you know, because I was really concerned about him getting hurt like that. But that's boxing, you know. Their corner decided to let him out. Thank God, I hope he's okay. And you know, there was times there that he could have turned it around, but I mean, tonight it was Boots' night. You know what I'm saying?
Do you favor Fundora or Virgil against Boots, or is Boots?
That I really don't know. I think that Fundora will be a really tough fight for the fighter right now. But man, Fundora is like freaking like 20 feet tall, you know. So Boots, I don't know if you can take, man, he had problems a lot of problems he had, like in the 3rd round, was it, right? When Chandler was coming back, you know, he hurt him, and it took him about a round to come back, you know, for Boots to come back, and I think that was the round that Sanders...
Reports from several insiders suggest these negotiations are becoming increasingly serious. Eddie Hearn continues pushing aggressively to make the fight a reality. Netflix has reportedly expressed strong interest in broadcasting the event. Both camps recognize the enormous financial opportunity involved, and Crawford has given no indication that he plans to turn down the challenge.
The third part, Virgil came out and said that he was going to sleep you. So I just want to know your comments on those.
Why he ain't take the fight in the beginning? You know what I'm saying? Bro, I ain't be talking, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I'm trying to tell you, I'm really different. He gonna see firsthand. Because he gets hurt a lot. He flat-footed. and he been dropped multiple times. When he get hit by me, it's gonna be.
Now the final debate belongs to the fans. Will the experienced legend deliver one last masterpiece before walking away, or will the rising young superstar officially take control of the sport? Share your prediction in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Fight Field, and stay tuned for more boxing news and updates.